Gents, what is going on? I wanted to come out and lay out my Coon talk, my or as they would call it, my sellout plan for the black community, or what I like to call my personal philosophy. Now, as I put in the description, but kind of facetiously, I could literally be rich if I was given $1 every time I was called a coon or some type of pejorative, or some name for my stance. And I wanted to lay that out, like, quick, fast, in a hurry. But real quick, I lay this philosophy out in response to the typical shit that you hear in the black community. A lot of people, when I talk about, and I hate the word black on black crime, but I will talk about behavior from within, how we treat each other, how we conduct ourselves as far as treating a black business, for example. Economics. I'm worried about results, economics, prosperity. That's it. I'm not worried about motherfucking white people apologizing and all the stupid shit black men, particularly a lot of pro-blacks, are out here chasing. I don't want to get some type of grandiose apology from white people. I'm a very individualistic person, and I think people seem to thrive without the fucking government. The black community, while it was going through Jim Crow and segregation and all that bullshit, somehow built Black Wall Street and the neighborhood that used to be where Central Park is in New York and Philadelphia. And I mean, I could go on. Successful black communities in Chicago, successful black communities all over Texas, successful black communities in Georgia. I mean, Atlanta has been a hub because it's been mostly untouched since around the era of, before the welfare state, if you will. Now, somehow, some way, Atlanta is still somewhat growing economically, especially for black folks. So, having survived the essential welfare state, which, whether you want to believe it or not, I know most black people are extremely gynocentric, and this is where I draw the ire of black folks with the coon and all that bullshit. Matriarchy is not going to work long term. Matriarchy is propped up by the fucking government. So let's get that straight. Let's be real. Strength, independence. Why the fuck does strength and independence require welfare, child support? The entire community of your entire race, bending over backwards, apologizing for your shitty decisions, your bad choices in mates, your bad choices in the parents of your fucking children. If it's independence and strength, you don't need me to kiss your fucking ass. You don't need me to pay taxes so you can live off of my fucking tax dollars and every other hardworking American, and particularly hardworking American black man's tax dollars. You want to live off the black man, marry the black man, have children with only that black man. But I draw the ire of black folks when they want to talk all this historical shit. Black people, there are a lot of brothers out here, y'all real good. You can articulate the shit out of history. You can articulate ADOS, this new thing y'all talking about, American Descendants of Slaves. Y'all got all types of knowledge and book smarts and scholarship to define and explain why the fuck we need reparations. Now, I think I talked about that before real quick. I don't agree with the lump sum cash payout reparations because the government is ultimately made up of taxpayers' money. And they tax most people's wealth or income, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Believe it or not, black Americans control like $500+ billion annually spending power. How much of that's going to the government? So when you get cut a check for reparations, how much are you just giving back your own fucking money? It's essentially a tax return. I go along the lines of, if we're going to do anything, let's just give black or ADOS a fucking 25-year to 50-year tax break. I would say 2 or 3 generations, a 2 or 3 generation tax break. But along with that tax break, I would say something else. And this would defeat the purpose of defeat the matriarchal monster that we have in the black community. A lot of black people don't want to hear this shit. Along with this tax break, I say we dissolve the welfare state and child support and family court and all that shit in general. And you put the power in the hands of the individuals who are out earning the money. Whoever has the money, the women will go marry those men. The women will not be empowered to have babies by random thugs and goons from around the community who are just going to likely end up in jail or dead anyway. The empowerment of a woman through the government, through men's tax dollars, is why they do the shit that they do. It's not like they wouldn't be out here having 6 and 7 and 8 and 9 fucking kids by random dudes if the government didn't fucking fund it. Like, let's look at the military. Like, I'm a little bit right-leaning economically, but if we look at the military, for example, while I do agree that it's a small portion of the budget, but ultimately, when it comes to these contractors and all that stuff, there are a lot of ways that we unintentionally fund a war machine. And in order to keep that war machine, you know, to get some type of payback on that, you need to get some, what's the word I'm looking for? Return on investment. So in order to get return on investment, we kind of massage the seeds of war. And the same thing applies to single motherhood and the welfare state. So black folks have all this shit, all this knowledge, jail knowledge a lot of history. Dudes can talk about all the Tuskegee shit and the syphilis stuff, and I don't want to get into it. It's not that I am a coon, that I'm in denial of history. I'm just like, what? Okay, black people were oppressed. You got all the history, line by line. You can name all this shit that happened. Cool, I know. But what the fuck we gonna do about it? Are you going to go out in a race war and eliminate white people? Because here's my other philosophy. Here's where I tick people off. Let's say if you are Marvel fans or whatever, I mean, mostly everybody saw Endgame and all the Avengers movies. So let's say you gave a pro-black the Infinity Gauntlet with all the stones, and that nigga would do some pro-black shit like snap white people out of existence. The black community won't change. Motherfuckers are still gonna be shiftless and lazy. Black men, black boys will grow up in homes with single mothers, grow up to be thugs like the men that those women procreate with, and seek out being a thug, and just be a community of hate and discontent of the black man. The reason a lot of these thugs kill other black boys their own age and younger and older, the reason it's so easy for black men to take other black men's lives is because we grow up in a matriarchal society where our black moms make stupid fucking decisions, sleep with the worst kinds of black men, and then project those men on all of black men in America, and then their sons grow up despising black men, and it's a vicious cycle of hate, discontent, and murder, and it never fucking ends. Now I'm going on and on and on and on and on. So, let's get right into my philosophy. My philosophy is this. We tried matriarchy. We tried it. It didn't work, and it's not working. Sure, we have a $500 billion spending power at this time. And that's good. That is great. Who the fuck says it can't be $1 trillion, though? I mean, all that aside, we don't need to worry about getting that 500 bill to $1 trillion. Let's get a better community. The only thing we can do right now immediately that will make an immediate change is not sitting here worrying about the history, not trying to get an apology letter from white people, not trying to find the Infinity Stones and make white people disappear. I don't give a fuck about any of that. I want results. I don't want them now. And my results that we can get right now, tomorrow, is this. Young black men, young boys, and the black community in general, we need to start loving one another. My philosophy is for black folks to cut out all the bullshit, cut out this fucking black race is a verb bullshit where somebody who's not a Democrat is a coon and all that other bullshit. Somebody who wants to produce and is lame and a blue-collar person who wants to just earn money and work his way in life and do it the right way. Stop making these people fucking outcasts. If somebody wants to step out of the community line, we don't need to make them outcasts. Now, that doesn't mean they need to become the norm. I think individuals should be able to choose and become and like whatever the fuck they want as an individual. Cool, right? Love other black people. Period. Black women, stop looking at black men as a walking wallet or a utility or a tool of swag that you can use to get social credit amongst your homegirls, or worst case, a sperm donor, so you can get on the government tit and start whining about how you're strong and independent and doing it on your own. A single mother taking all these pictures of kids and Jordans and shit. No. Let's cut that shit the fuck out. Let's bring the black family back. Why the fuck am I a coon for that? Why am I a coon? Because I feel that black folks should love each other more. Should be a family. Men, should get with the women and have their children in the confines of either a relationship or a marriage. If you don't want to get fucking married, that is fine. Have a strong, stable family unit without marriage. You don't need a piece of paper or the government to tell you otherwise. Don't give me that marriage is an institution of the religion bullshit, because most black folk are Christian but are the most ungodly motherfuckers you've ever met. So, all in all, that's my thing. That's my, I guess, community behavioral thing. Let's be better toward each other. Let's stop this beefing over streets and lines and who did this, who wears what colors, all this gang shit. Let's get the fuck away from that. Let's turn all that energy we got for gang banging, all the smoke you got for your fellow black man, that hatred and discontent, let's turn all that energy and focus into economics. Let's get our paper. Let's circulate that 500 bill amongst black folk. Why the fuck is that cooning? That's my philosophy. Circle that shit within the fucking black community. Every dollar you motherfuckers spend is someone's, not you, okay, excuse me, let me take that part back. Most dollars black folks spend don't even stay the fuck in its community. You notice? Let's give you an example of the Jewish community. The dude who got caught cussing and saying all types of derogatory shit about black folk who owned the LA Clippers, he was Jewish, and so happened to sell his team to another Jewish individual. Same thing when you talk about the NBA commissioner. The dude before Adam Silver was Jewish. Adam Silver himself is Jewish. And if I'm not mistaken, Roger Goodell was Jewish and took over for another Jewish individual for the NFL commission. You got these companies they're circulating everything within each other. They're very, very much about group economics. I'm stuttering. And I want to end this shit. So I don't want to be on here forever. I meant to make this one real kind of short. I meant to go less than 15 minutes, but we're going to come close to it. Oh, okay. If wanting black people to treat each other better, wanting black men and women to get together and form families before they start having kids and sport fucking, wanting the sex deviant culture to reduce, wanting violence amongst black men and boys, wanting hate to decrease amongst black men and boys and black women and black men and children and adults, wanting the pedophilia and the preying on children, the murdering of black children, the dissent of black businesses, the disregard to support your fellow black business and local black business and black owned, everything, grocery stores and theaters and malls and all of that shit. And worst of all, this weave shit. I'm not going to get into weave, but let's teach our young black girls to love the hair that grows out of their head. They are beautiful just as they are. They don't need blonde weave and all this bullshit that Hollywood tells them. They don't need to wear blue eye contacts and all that other bullshit. They need to look like them. And black men and women this community needs to love each other. Now, if that makes me a coon, this is why I ended the PSA for Brother series. Because a message of love and support amongst our own community is rejected and called cooning. So, I guess I'll just sign out here. So, tell me what y'all think about that philosophy. I'm going to put this on YouTube as well. Coon out.